Good morning, and this particular video is a little bit of a show and tell, really. What have I been up to? Well, apart from waiting for the parts from the Heath kit, which is now back together, and that video will come out Friday, I just thought I'd go through what else has been happening. First thing that's happened is I've changed some of the audio equipment here, and hopefully the videos are sounding better. I'm doing my best. Before I thought, there was a little bit too much of a whine, a bit too much of an echo. The levels kept needing to be boosted in the software, and it just wasn't what I wanted it to be like. So I've actually bought a new audio processor. I bought a pro-grade audio processor, and that's now in line. And also, to improve the videos, let me just turn you around. There you go. I'm just pointing you at the camera that's over the bench, and what you see here is a new, well, new to me. It's not a brand new lens. I couldn't afford a brand new one. But a second-hand Tokina wide-angle lens, 16 or 11 to 16, so it's very wide angle, and that's to look down at the top of the bench, just so that I can fit everything in without it being, sort of looking too close and missing things out at the side. So that's that one. Let's just point you down at the bench and zoom you back a bit, because there's all sorts of goodies on the bench. Right, now let's turn over to this camera, and you can see me at the one in front of you. Now, hopefully in the next few days, a replacement for this one will be coming. Again, it was dirt cheap on eBay, but I'm going from an SD camera to another HD camera, this time a Toshiba. It was at a price I really couldn't argue with. It's still boxed, it's hardly used, and it's a discontinued Toshiba model. It's all meant to be fully working. The price I paid for it, to be quite honest, it cost me more to ship it back if it didn't work. So that's that bit. Now on the bench we have some bits and pieces. Now let's move the boxes to the side, and let's start with this little bag first. Let me just make sure that everything's in view. So there's an aerial, a thingy, a remote, and a software disk. Basically, this is one of those RTL dongles for, you see them for SDR, and it's a USB TV stick that does pretty much everything. I do have a couple of SDR units where I've actually taken these apart, put them in boxes, and generally, just use them for full range SDR. These should be good for 25 megahertz and upwards. So, as I say, I've got a couple of these. They're just there for messing around with, really. I just wanted to see how well they worked without any modifications. So yeah, got a couple of those. Again, dirt cheap, nothing really spectacular. So that's that. The next thing is this. Now, this is meant to be a pretty for your car, and what you're meant to do with it, let's put it over here, is it's meant to go underneath the tailgate, and it's meant to shine light through the gap at the back of your tailgate. They're the 12 volts that come on when you switch your ignition on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 12 volts on the power supply, and hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Let's just move that one a little bit. Right, okay. So we're actually on 12 volts on the power supply as it is. These are indicators, okay. So if I turn left, let's put 12 volts on the left. As you see, the strip runs to the left. And if I turn the other way, it runs the other way along. Okay, and then what have we got? We've got white is the brake lights. Okay. Green is width lamp. Right, okay. And blue is permanent blue. Depending on what you have connected, let's say you had your green permanently connected and you then went yellow, and then you turned your indicator off, it would resume the flashing lights. Now, does it change? Or does it just do the fixed pattern? Looks like it just runs the fixed pattern. Okay, so you could connect one to the fog lights and one to the... Yeah, so there's an indicator on. If you have both hazards on, what happens? It does them alternately, so that's not too bad. So anyway, that's a bit of pretty for the car. I might get round to installing that along with the other bits and pieces that I've got. But yeah, that looks like a bit of fun. And here we have a big box. And yep, it's come from abroad. It's actually come from the Ukraine, and it's something I've been waiting for. And if I open it up, we get a lot of little bits of peanuts, packing peanuts. Let's empty all of this out. And what we have here I don't know where the PCBs are. There they are. What we have here is a TransVertica kit. So this allows a 28 megahertz input, 29 megahertz input, to do 70 to 72 megahertz, which is the 4 meter amateur band. And it works all modes. It's not critical of what mode you use, so AM, FM, both side bands, CW if you really must. And it's already been pre-assembled. And it costs more if you buy the kit with the box. But I thought, well, you know, get the box that's designed for it, and you get pretty much everything. You get a bit of cable, you get a switch, you get your BNC connectors, power connectors, LEDs for the outside, standoffs, everything's in here. And the price is incredibly cheap. I'm not going to lie, these things, you know, even the Chinese haven't managed to make them as cheap. You even get the stickers for the front and back of the unit, so that you can stick them on and put them on. The specs on it, 10 watt in, or 10 to 0.015 in, adjustable on the attenuator board. it'll take what, 15 watts maximum in. It'll bypass 100 watts. It's got a PTT control so that your rig can switch it over between transmit and receive. Then you've got the TransVertica board, which should output about 10 watts, which is not a bad amount of power for such a little board. You know, if you look at it, that's the TransVertica there, and it's using, what's the IC it's using as an output? RD16 HHF1 178AB. Looks like a Mitsubishi device on there, but yeah, it's, you know, it's an incredibly well made board, and yeah, they ship worldwide. If anybody's interested, if I give them a plug, TransVertaStore.com. That's transvertas-store.com. I'll put a link in the description down at the bottom, and you can go down and you can have a look in your local currency as to how much they cost. But I've got to say, the price is very, very reasonable. You couldn't really want for more, you know, looking at, you know, the soldering, the power, the handling, the way it's been built. You know, as long as you can solder some RF cable and some connectors onto it, it's ready to rock and roll. So that's my little show and tell. Try and keep it nice and short, and hopefully you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to click like, click subscribe, little bell icon just to make sure you get all the notifications of all the videos, and hopefully we'll catch up with you soon. Thanks very much for watching. Bye for now.